Daria, ¿no te das cuenta de la ironía de que estás literalmente standing on my neck? Excuse me. Hola, mi nombre es Hernán y el día de hoy tenemos un video bastante cool llamado 10 animales que fueron más espantosos que los dinosaurios. Pero antes de que reaccionemos a ese video, quiero que me ayudes a fijarte si estás suscrito o suscrita, y si no lo estás, por favor hazlo, me ayudarías muchísimo. Es gratuito y irreversible, es decir, no te cuesta nada, yo lo valoraría muchísimo. Y si algún día te decides desuscribir, se puede hacer. Entonces no hay nada que perder. Ayúdame. Ahora sí, directo al video.
No one today can really get a full idea of what it was like to live surrounded by dinosaurs. While today we know that some animals like killer whales, alligators, lions, and other big predators can be threatening to us humans, none of them can compare to the danger that dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals represent.
Claro, eran gigantes, muy peligrosos.
Looking at 10 animals that were scarier than dinosaurs, however. You'll realize that dinosaurs were harmless and perhaps even friendly compared to the beasts I'm going to show you today.
Okay.
I'll also talk about some of the movies that fed us ideas of what these animals were like, and I'll compare those ideas to actual facts that will make you understand how real-life creatures were in fact a bit scarier than what we see on the screen. Let's be honest here, some of these creatures belong in a game like Monster Hunter with how terrifying they can be.
Monster Hunter, no he jugado Monster Hunter, me gustaría jugarlo, se ve bastante cool.
Number 10. Arthropleura. I'm gonna start with an animal.
Ew, se ve asqueroso, es como un gusano gigante. Oh, este video va a estar interesante.
That was not as big as a dinosaur. In fact, it wasn't even a carnivore. But I'm sure you'd be quite scared and probably a bit grossed out if you were to encounter it today.
Si lo veo ahora mismo,
I'm pretty sure you'd rather see a dinosaur instead
me muero. Sí, preferiría ver un dinosaurio.
That could reach lengths of up to
Definitivamente.
2.5 meters, which means if it were to stand on the ground 6,000 feet, it would be higher than a Christmas tree.
Hay un Pokémon que está basado en ese, ¿no? Dejen busco. Miren, Centiskorch parece estar basado en algún animal similar a ese, pero o sea, me recuerdo mucho cuando lo vi en el video, entonces nada más. Quería tirar eso al aire.
With such an aspect, I doubt any predators would want to mess with it. Number 9. Osteous.
Oh, Jesus.
Even the name sounds scary already. If you're wondering what this animal looked like, let me start out by pointing that Osteous was indeed a fish. That may not sound scary, but of course we're not talking about a cute tropical.
A mí me dan miedo los peces de por sí, entonces eso suena bastante espantoso de por sí.
In fact, this thing actually ate sharks like jaws.
O sea, me dan asco los
This
peces.
prehistoric fish was 33 feet long, which means it was almost twice as long as the height of a giraffe from its head to its feet. However, what makes this animal threatening is not only its size, but also its sharp teeth.
Oh, se ve cool, pero espantoso, definitivamente. Lo puedo apreciar, pero sé que si estuviese cerca de él, me espantaría demasiado.
These were useful tools to pierce and chew on the prey. This fish was as heavy as a hippopotamus and could easily snatch its prey in less than a second. Number 8. Jaquelopterus.
Oh, es un escorpión gigante.
The best way to explain it is by pointing out that some people call it a giant sea scorpion, and already that's
me dan miedo los mariscos. Esto es un mariscote.
Can you picture that? Scorpions are scary already. I don't want to imagine what it would be like to come face to face with a giant one in the middle of the ocean.
Cosas muy feas en mi cuerpo.
It's an experience that would definitely keep me away from the waters for good. The name
Jaquelopterus
comes from Otto Jaquel, a German paleontologist who was the first one to describe the species. Although its maximum size has not been confirmed, some experts believe the largest Jaquelopterus could have reached a length of up to 2.5 meters, making it taller than...
No. What the fuck? No, definitivamente no me gustaría verlo. Me dan miedo los mariscos. O sea, no puedo ver una langosta porque me asusto, me da asco y me quiero morir. Entonces ahora imagínense esta langosta de 2 metros. No, gracias.
Humans if it were to stand. This animal is believed to have lived in fresh water, making it a threat to other arthropods and smaller fish. Poor animals didn't stand a chance against this huge creature. Number 7. Helicopterus. And here's another fish on our list, or maybe not. One of the craziest facts about the Helicopterus
ya lo había visto
is that
en
no
otro
one has been
video.
able to properly classify it and associate it to the animal groups we have today. We can say it's a fish because it lived in the water, but paleontologists didn't have enough information to categorize it. Its teeth worked like a circular blade. Without any proper teeth in the upper jaw, this creature
Sí,
was
es como
gone
una
and biting you at the
motosierra,
same
¿no?
time. That's pretty gross and scary. The lower teeth were sharp, so it's safe to assume that the Helicopterus was a carnivore. What scientists can't figure out yet is whether it fed on small or big animals. They can only speculate as they still haven't found any remains of a skull to properly figure out what its diet was.
Donde sea que se ponga este animal, debe ser una escena muy sangrienta.
To scare us all if we were to encounter it in the ocean today. Number 6. Leopleurodon. Plesiosaurs and dinosaurs are two different groups of animals.
Eso está muy
Since
padre.
they both disappeared around the same time, a lot of people think of them
Es
as
como
part of the
Lapras.
same family, but they're not.
¿Por qué relaciono todo con
And guess
Pokémon? What the
plesiosaur
fuck?
I have for you today is definitely one you want to avoid at all costs. The Leopleurodon, or the Leopleurodon. Its name comes from the Greek and it means a smooth-sided tooth.
Eso
This
es
beast
lo
was
que se
heavy
teoriza que el
and at
monstruo del
least
lago
half as
Ness
long as
es,
a
¿no?
bowling lane. A quarter of its body was made out of its skull, filled with plenty
El
of
monstruo del lago
razor
Ness
teeth.
es,
Its fossils
exacto.
also suggest that the monster was a great swimmer, being able to move at high speeds and reach its prey.
Todos los
It's
animales
also believed
que
that
viven en el agua son buenos
Leopleurodon was able to
nadadores,
use
no sé por qué
nostrils
tienen
to
que
scan the water
decirlo.
and identify where certain smells were coming from. I'd definitely stay out of the water if this animal was still alive. Number 5. Sarkasuchus. Have you ever been on trips down the swamp wondering when a crocodile will pop out for food? It's definitely crossed my mind when I'm around muddy areas, and I know for sure I don't want to come across any of these animals. Back in prehistoric times, there was such an animal, very similar but more threatening than the crocs we know of today. The Sarkasuchus. Some people call it the super croc, and for a good reason. It was a very distant relative of crocodiles, but very different in size. The Sarkasuchus was about twice the size of the largest crocodiles we know of today. This beast was so huge that it could easily take on any dinosaur that wanted to mess around. It almost seems like there was almost nothing that its 1.8 meter long skull couldn't take. Are you afraid of crocodiles? Well, imagine getting close to the super croc. Number 4.
Pero, o sea, la cosa con los cocodrilos es que son, o sea, no que sean rápidos, pero, o sea, si ves uno, básicamente ya estás frito porque empiezan a correr y alcanzan su máxima velocidad inmediatamente porque tienen 4 patas y nada más. Pero, o sea, nosotros es de que tenemos que como que ir agarrando un poquito más de energía para empezar a correr rápido, que sí podemos correr más rápido que cocodrilos, pero, o sea, si un cocodrilo está a tu lado, ya valiste.
Mosasaurus. If you watch Jurassic World, you're probably familiar with the mosasaur. It's
No,
that
Jurassic
monster
World.
that jumps out of the water like a killer whale would do at SeaWorld and eat a great white shark. Now again, I have to mention the mosasaur were not aquatic dinosaurs. They were a totally different species. The most threatening aspect of a mosasaur is the size. They could reach a size of up to 17 feet long, which is equivalent to 3 times the size of your fridge. So yes, the mosasaur in Jurassic World was heavily exaggerated. That thing was bigger than a Megalodon, I think. Although their vision and their smell were not as developed as other creatures at the time, they were still considered dangerous. They had fins that allowed them to easily move through the water and prey on whatever they set their poor eyes on.
Qué suerte tuvimos de no estar en la misma época que esos animales.
1764, and the most recent were also found in the Netherlands in 2015 by a 14-year-old paleontologist and his father. The fossil was named Mars after the name of its finder. Wouldn't it be cool to find a prehistoric fossil in your backyard?
Eso sería bastante cool, creo yo.
Excavate your house, maybe. Number 3. Megalodon. Ah, yes,
El
probably the most
clásico.
popular creature on this list and the one
Este
that
está en
Hollywood
todos los
really
videos de
exploited the
animales
crud out of.
grandes o
I'm
históricos
sure
o lo
you
que
already
sea.
heard about the Megalodon by now, thanks to the inventions of the film industry. But now it's time to separate truth from fiction and find out some interesting and perhaps scary facts about this monster. The Megalodon is the largest shark ever known. Like other creatures on this list, its name also comes from the Greek and meaning is big tooth. That alone can help you start
Porque
picturing
tenía
the
big
magnitude of
tooth.
the jaws of this kind of shark. Today, the largest shark alive is the white shark, which can grow as long as 20 feet and weigh as much as 7,000 pounds. But the Megalodon was
What?
3 times that size and could reach at least 15 times that weight. It was unbelievably long and heavy. The lifetime of the Megalodon indicates that it possibly interacted with some of the animals we know today, such as some porpoises, turtles, and even whales. It must have been
Jesus.
scary for these kinds of animals to come face to face with this massive predator. Now it's time for the day's best pick. I've been talking a lot about prehistoric creatures, and I have mentioned some of the films that give us an idea of what it would be like to run into them.
Eso es lo que
All of
hiciste.
this has made me think about what would happen if I were to be stranded in the middle of the ocean and come face to face with one of these monsters. Would I stand a chance? Would you stand a chance? The answer, no. One of the animals I chose to end this list has really got me thinking about this stuff.
A ver.
It's a sea monster that was discovered about 6 years ago.
¿Qué es
Before I
eso?
present it to you, there's another creature that was scary, but this one lived out of the water, in the skies. Number 2. Quetzalcoatlus. With a name that sounds like an Aztec deity, which in fact is the source of its name, the Quetzalcoatlus was a flying creature. If you're a huge fan of Jurassic Park and other films about prehistoric creatures, you probably know about the pterosaurs. And once again, the pterosaurs are not dinosaurs. Please don't get them mixed up, that makes them mad.
Yo tenía juguetes de
The word
de esos
pterosaurs literally
de esos
translates to
dinosaurios.
flying lizard,
Solo digo.
and that is the family from which the Quetzalcoatlus.
¿Por qué dije eso? Eso fue muy no
So now
interesante.
you're probably wondering, what made
Perdón.
this flying lizard so scary compared to the other creatures ever? Well, when it spread its wings, it's possible that the animal reached a length of 35 feet. That's about the same height as a telephone pole. Some earlier studies actually claimed that its length could be as wide as 60 feet, and that's insane to say the least. It was also quite heavy. Although scientists haven't been able to determine a precise number, they believe it could weigh somewhere between 450 to 500 pounds. That's almost as heavy as a regular pig. Imagine a huge lizard flying in circles around you like that. Now, just imagine lots of them. The prehistoric times sound like a nightmare to me.
Qué perturbador.
Their limbs and
tener
bone structure suggest that they spent a lot of time on
tantos
land,
esos
though.
dinosaurios.
While
Bueno, no
all this
dinosaurios,
info
esos
sounds
animales.
scary, it seems like the
volando
Quetzalcoatlus was
alrededor
not
de
a
ti.
real threat to humans.
Uy,
Explained
no.
that their diet consisted of small animals living on land and near small streams.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick
Ay, le cambió la voz.
If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
No.
El link a este video va a estar en la descripción para que puedan ir a checarlo y darle amor a este canal que nos permitió usar su video.
Number 1. Thalataargent. The idea of the thalataargent is crazy because this creature was just recently discovered, back in 2010. That's the most recent discovery in terms of prehistoric animals, which makes me think about what other fossils might be out there that we haven't discovered yet. Like most animals on this
No
list,
se
the
ve tan
thalataargent used to
perturbador,
live
o-
in the water. Just like how pterosaurs were known as flying lizards, the ichthyosaurs were known as the swimming lizards. With a body as large as 28 feet in length and a thin but threatening set of teeth, this beast could easily eat any animal of the same size. Its eating style is comparable to that of modern-day orcas. While most ichthyosaurs were found in Europe, the thalataargent was found in Nevada, USA back in 2010, and formally introduced to the world in 2013. This discovery is currently leading the way in modern studies of marine animals that are able to eat other animals of a similar size. And there you have it, 10 animals that were scarier.
Ok, eso fue un video bastante interesante en mi opinión. No sé si a ti te haya gustado, espero que sí, espero que lo hayas disfrutado tanto como yo lo disfruté. Y espero que tengas un excelente día, te ves muy bien, así que ve por la vida con confianza. Además de ir por la vida con confianza, déjame saber cuál de esos animales te gustaría ver en persona. A mí creo que me gustaría ver al pterodáctilo, pero de lejitos, o sea, sí, encerrado o algo. Bueno, eso es cruel, solo lejos y que no me vea, básicamente.